filmmaker, an actor, and also an entrepreneur. I'd like to read out my presentation to save time. Today I will be discussing on the topic, creativity and the youth towards good governance. So in a time of great change, accelerating globalization and increasing uncertainty, all countries, whether developing or developed, are heading for a reform of governance that is better adapted to the times as to gain an advantage in economic competitiveness and create substantial and sustainable social growth. Hence, the youth are challenged to be all creative and innovative to bring about the birth of more youth inclusiveness in future governance, which will eventually inspire the young generation to follow suit and produce more youth innovators all around the world to producing good governance. I will be elaborating on 3 topic areas: youth and their influence on good governance, creativity and innovation, the role of Nigerian youth to producing good governance. And the purpose of this presentation is to call the attention of the federal, states, and local governments of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to create an enabling environment for our youth to strive. Now it brings me to the question, who is a youth? Youth is best understood as a period of transition from the dependence of childhood to adulthood independence. And that's why, as a category, youth is more viewed than other fixed age groups. Yet, age is the easiest way to define this group, particularly in relation to education and employment, because youth is often referred to a person between the ages of leaving compulsory education and finding your first job. And then, what is good governance? Good governance is an approach to government that is committed to creating a system founded in justice, peace, that protects the individual human rights and civil liberties. And according to United Nations, good governance is measured by the 8 factors of participation, rule of law, transparency, responsiveness, consensus-oriented, equity and inclusiveness, also efficiency and accountability. Now, we should be talking about creativity and innovation. Creativity and innovation are 2 related but separate notions, and each is required for success. And here is the difference. Creativity doesn't always result to development, but innovation does. However, innovation does not happen without creative people. Generating creativity means allowing people to think outside the box and go against the norm sometimes. And if you let bureaucracy stop creativity, innovation will be a victim. Creativity can be defined also as the capability to make or the quality of making new things by transcending traditions and usual practice of thought. And in Nigeria, we have a lot of creative industries. We have music, we have film, we have football, we have physics, we have a whole lot of them that is making waves around the world today. But the key factor remains that creativity is an idea alone, not a reality yet. But interestingly, creativity is very specific to people because animals have no ways to communicate ideas, and much of what they transfer is assumed by instinct or by example. Now, what is innovation? Innovation is the implementation or creation of something new that has realized values to others. Innovation is realized most vividly in the form of a tool, physical benefit, or aid that solves a problem or creates an advantage. And these tools are not limited to what? To humans. And why are innovations and creative very important? Once an idea is possible, innovation tends to be an easier challenge for more people to achieve. Creativity is the novel step of being the first to identify that something might be possible in the first place. But innovation is the action of putting things into practical reality. So despite challenges and resistances, rather than just contemplating, both are necessary, but only one of them translates to real value of revenue. And a lot of people frequently interchange creativity and innovation without understanding what separates the two. Creativity isn't necessarily innovation. That's why Hunter told Business News Daily, If you have a brainstorming meeting and dream up dozens of new ideas, then you have displayed creativity. But there is no innovation until something gets implemented. And how does that affect governance today? Like we know, I'd like to discuss about young men and women that have created impact to promoting good governance. And I'm citing Mark Elliott Zuckerberg as an example. Born May 14, 1984, he's an American media magnate, internet entrepreneur, and a philanthropist. He is known for co-founding Facebook. And he's the only person under 40 years old in Forbes 20 most richest people in the world. Today, Facebook has contributed globally as an avenue to easy and fast communication, and also helped in checking transparency and expressing one's view through the social media platform. And in world politics today, as we know, youth appears to be having a moment. At 34 years of old, Sanna Marin will soon become the world's youngest sitting prime minister after being selected by Finland's Social Democratic Party to take over as a leader from the resignation of Prime Minister Antti Rinne. And in recent years, there has been a surge of politicians in their 30s winning leadership roles, which includes New Zealand's 39-year-old Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern, Ukraine's 35-year-old Prime Minister Oleksiy Honcharuk, and El Salvador's 38-year-old president. The role of Nigerian youth to producing good government. First of all, I would like to say that the high rate of creativity of youth globally cannot be more emphasized as it is on a recurring decimal. The transformation from analog method of doing things to digital state of mind is also a positive impact of creativity and is appointed unto man to learn and study till death, as evolution is a consecutive basis. And if I ask all of us here, some would define the age of youth, from 18 to 35. Others will say that youth are from 18 to 45 and so on. But what we should know is that your state of mind is part of what makes you youthful, not just centered on the age factor alone, and proactive mind that is innovative and creative in a youthful heart regardless of age. There has been a far cry of the youth being incorporated into governments, and this has not really been possible. But the impact of youth is in a renovated system of ideas. We must understand that the Generation Y, also known as the millennials, are the integral or pivotal part of any country, also known as the digital negatives. Millennials are those born between 1982 and 1994, and technology is part of their everyday lives, as all their activities are mediated by the screen. All the millennials need are constant human capital development, and you will see the positive impact it has on the society. And the reason for a big parallel that the moment is lack of capital development and poverty on the side of the youth, because the enablement to further their education after university degree. And then most of the lucky ones who find their ways outside the country, they thrive in all that they do. Because right out there, the environment is enabling. Right here, we don't have even basic amenities. So even if you want to create a business, you have a lot of things that will set you back. Lack of electricity, lack of good roads. Other speakers here have said it all. So once the youth are empowered intellectually, there will be good and responsible governance. When you train trainers, there will be a constant improvement in governance. And one of the greatest challenges we have today is because the youth have been neglected for so long, and this has made the development stagnant and limited in all ramifications. And the appraisal of youth in governance will emerge once the youth are fully and incorporated into governance, because they have all it takes to be energetic, and their synergy will make a lot of difference. As we all know that in Nigerians today, we have more than 250 ethnic groups speaking 500 distinct languages, all identifying with a wide variety of culture. And the three largest ethnic groups are the Hausa Fulani in the north, Yoruba in the west, and the Igbo east, together comprising over 60% of the total population. So the country has the world's fifth largest Muslim population, and sixth, as we all know, Nigeria consists of 6 geopolitical zones. So the Nigerian youth are faced with mounting challenge of improper inclusiveness in politics. The reason for this is primarily stemmed to the country's incapacity to create sufficient platforms to encourage meaningful youth participation in policy making. More youth in the various geopolitical zones in Nigeria have resorted to protest instead of direct inclusiveness in governance, just like what we had in the NSAS. A lot of people are saying that it failed, it didn't work. But I would say that it worked to an extent. At least the government now know that the youth, can come together in oneness and have their voice heard. Now, I want to do a comparative analysis between the Nigerian and Singapore youth, which will go a long way to tell how poorly informed the Nigerian youth are. Take, for example, the share respondents between 25 and 29 years old with mobile data subscription in Singapore is 94.4%, while in Nigeria, 60% of Nigerians are still not connected to the internet, and only about 10% are active on social media. So it is evident to see that the economic state of the country will go far to tell the responsiveness of their youth towards good governance. We should bear in mind that the purpose of this presentation is to call the attention of the federal government to create an enabling environment for the Nigerian youth to thrive among their contemporaries around the world, and for the youth to be challenged to be innovative. The youth must be compelled to hold the government accountable for providing basic amenities and security, which is the government's primary duty, even though the government does not listen. But we must, at all times, take the message directly to the government. Nigerian youth should strive and learn to be educated, learn to use the modern digital media as means of invention through which various groups of communication systems to create technology advancement. The youth should use the social media platform to create inclusiveness in government by expressing their views in politics. Youth should also engage themselves in national and international youth organizations to clinch with innovative youth schemes by the various Nigerian youth. Nigerian youth should be aware of their fundamental human rights and put into real value to promote the rule of law. Creative and innovative youths should participate in active politics, even though it's so difficult. Because as we know in Nigeria, if you're not financially buoyant, it's almost impossible, to participate. But we have to keep trying, and we should also exercise our franchise through voting the right persons in government positions. Preferably bringing up more youth as leaders in Nigeria to bridge the gap between the Nigerian and other countries, where young men and women have taken their path to leadership. Innovative youth should create synergy with creative minds. Nigerian youth should learn to start small inventions as they eventually grow big with time. Thank you for your time.